Today on Science we are looking at
the amazing world of microbes.
Today's key words are microbes, yeast, bacteria and fermentation.
What are microbes? Now, I've drawn some beautiful diagrams here of the two microbes that we're going to have a look at today. We are going to be using a bacteria called lactobacillus that we use for making yogurt and cheese. And this is a terrible diagram of a microbe called yeast, which is a type of fungus that we use for making things like bread. There are all sorts of microbes around us. We won't talk about the ones that look like that. I'm not very happy with those at the moment. From sausagey bacteria to lumpy fungi to the nasty viruses. So today, like we've said, we're going to try and show you how you can make some yogurt at home and how to make some bread at home using bacteria and yeast. Now for our yeast, all I've done to get going is follow the recipe. I've put 700 mils of water. It's ever so slightly warm. I've mixed in 1 packet of dried yeast and I've put a little sprinkle of sugar in there because our yeast like to do fermentation. It's one of our key words. They will turn sugar into carbon dioxide bubbles, which is what makes your bread very nice and fluffy. On the other side here, we've got a packet of pre-made yogurt mix that we're going to use in our readily available yogurt making facility. At home, you can do the exact same thing without this fancy equipment, not that it's that fancy. All you will need is a spoon of yogurt that is live, because that will have the bacteria in it, and some milk, which you just heat up so that it's sterilised, and we'll show you the rest of it later. Okay, let's get going. Okay, for this one we have moved to the kitchen, so over to you, Hazel, to make the yogurt.
So first you need to open your thing you're going to make it in, and we're going to pour water that's room temperature up to this line. I'm going to pour the milk powder into the water so it rehydrates the milk and the bacteria. Now with the lid firmly attached, I can shake the milk powder and the bacteria into the water.
Shake!
Now it's well mixed, we can top it up with water. We've put some hot water in here, and now we're going to place it in so the yogurt can ferment and turn the sugar into lactic acid, which makes the yogurt set. I'm going to put the lid on and let it ferment for 8 to 12 hours.
Right, so for our bread, what we're going to do is we are going to add half the flour for our recipe into a big mixing bowl. And all we're going to do for now is we're going to take our yeast solution that we made earlier, and as you can see, we've already got some bubbles. Let me show you there. We've already got some bubbles forming on the top, and that is from the yeast turning the sugar into carbon dioxide and a little bit of alcohol from fermentation process. So as you can see, it's all fizzy in there. Take the camera and you can see it getting all fizzy. Okay, so you can see all of those bubbles, carbon dioxide, and that, like we said, is the bubbles that you get in bread to make it nice and fluffy and nice to eat. Okay, so we're going to give it a bit of a stir, and we're going to leave the yeast to ferment in this battery stuff for a few hours so that we get lots of fermentation and all those microbes start to multiply and make lots of nice flavours in our bread. Okay, so we're about 2 hours in, and I'm just going to take off some cling film on the top so we can have a look, and look at all of these bubbles. loads and loads of bubbles of carbon dioxide, and we can see that there's been a lot of fermentation going on here. Loads of CO2 from those yeasts multiplying in this battery bread mix. So I'm going to add a few more ingredients. I have got
sugar.
No, try again. It's white crystals, but it's not sugar.
Salt.
Salt. So I'm going to add a little bit of salt. I've got
Butter.
some butter. I'm going to put that in. And I've got the rest of the flour. Come back in a second after I've given it a mix. Giving it a quick mix. And what you'll need to do is you'll need to knead it, yeah? So you just give it a good old squish and you keep flipping it over and giving it a squish. Get your hands nice and messy until it starts feeling nice and smooth and springy. Okay, so we've got a nice smooth ball. I'll give it a bit more kneading later, but just for now, I'm going to cover it back up again so it doesn't dry out and leave it to do a bit more fermenting. Okay, let's check on the progress of the yoghurt.
So let's open it up, and it's still quite liquidy because it's not finished fermenting. Because it's only been 2 hours in, and we need to leave it for 8 to 12 hours in the warm water. So we'll keep that back on so it keeps fermenting.
Okay, I've given it a bit more of a knead. It's gone nice and springy. Nice and elastic. I'm going to stretch it out and fit it in the tin just like that. So all we're going to do now is wait for it to rise so it's all nice and rounded, and then we're going to put it in the oven. Okay, you can see it has risen up and it is nice and big. I'm just going to add a few fancy bits down the middle for when it's cooking. There we go. Right, I'm going to pop this in the oven, and in about 45 minutes it'll be ready. Alright, there we go. So we're all baked up now. Sounds kind of hollow, sounds maybe a bit solid, that one, but one delicious baked loaf of bread, courtesy of the microbe yeast, creating all of those delicious little pockets of air.
Okay, now we're going to check on our yogurt, and as you can see, it's gone nice and thick. And let's open it. Oh, it's really hard to open. Can you help?
Twist. There you go.
Okay, I'm going to get my spoon and mix it, and it's gone nice and thick because it's fermented and it's turned the sugar into lactic acid, which has made the milk that used to be milk powder turn into yogurt. So I've given it a really good mix and it's nice and smooth and creamy, so now I'm going to put it in the fridge overnight and I can have it for my breakfast. I just had a little cheeky lick of the spoon and it was really, really delicious.
Okay, let's review what we've learned today. So we used a yeast to ferment sugars into carbon dioxide to make nice bubbly soft bread.
And we used bacteria to ferment our milk powder into yogurt and turn the sugar into lactic acid.
Okay, now for the taste test. Hazel, do you want to try the yogurt? Okay, get that in there.
That's really good.
So, give.
It's raspberry and lemon, so it's
Let's
nice.
Oh, flipping out. Actually, that's pretty decent, that, isn't it?
Yeah, well, another
Brilliant.
spoon.
Okay.
And now we're going to toast and butter our bread.
Now we're going to toast and butter the bread.
With a blowtorch.
Well, yeah, we don't like none of this boring cold bread, do we? There we
Well,
are.
it's called science.
It is size. There we go. I think that's toasted enough. Right. Let's get some butter on that. And just like magic, it is buttered. So let's try the delicious bread that we've made.
Is it
Oh,
good?
yeah, it's pretty crunchy. Pretty bubbly. Tastes ever so slightly burnt. Can't understand why. But pretty decent. Oh, I'm quite happy with that. Right. So, you can always have a go at doing this at home. We will put some links in the description below as to where you can find recipes and methods on making the yogurt if you don't have the yogurt making machine. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed that. See you next time. Don't forget your red cabbage. We will be doing the red cabbage. Bye.